Morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. A pleasant good morning to you. And of course, a pleasant good morning to the listeners of Sky 99.5. Always a pleasure. Let me thank everyone for all the hundreds of birthday wishes that I got. And all the God bless you. And, I always, that's something I don't take for granted. When somebody tells me that, and I know it is genuine, I really, really, really appreciate that. So, again, thank you so very much. And of course, God's willing, hopefully, I'll be able to continue to make a next year and, try my best to help and impact the lives of, many more individuals. Let me say thank you to Mr. Deron. For some reason, I cannot remember Deron's last name, but that is the gentleman who invited us to do a lecture at the Creative Arts Center in San Fernando. First time I actually went to the Creative Arts Center. Yeah, nice building, man. You just need to ensure that, we do some little maintenance work on it and whatnot. But a nice space. And, I must say thank you very much to the individuals who came out to that lecture. We had a good time. We're a pretty small enough group, because we had a number of constraints, I would say, yesterday, in terms of holiday, a lot of rain, traffic, whatever the case may be. But still, there were some individuals who braved all of that and came out and really had a good time. So what we promise ourselves to do, especially now that, COVID is in a better situation, those public lectures we're going to start back doing. Of course, I'm going to have to schedule myself accordingly as regards to how we do it. But I promise the people of San Fernando, the people of South, that we're going to do something for them in January off of the heels of that event that we had at the Creative Arts Center. Because I told everyone who was there to make sure that they bring 20 people next time for the next event. So if everyone follows that assignment, we should end up with about 240 people. Good. So that's something to look out for, and I'm going to make sure that we advertise on our social media pages when I do various programs and that type of thing. Because the information that was shared was able to help so many. There was this particular lady. She said, Dr. Batson, she said, but I never hear about you. Where you come from? She said this lecture was good. She said, I really, really enjoyed it. So much information. We spoke about hydration. We spoke about the importance of cleansing and detoxifying the body. We spoke about diabetes, hypertension. We touched on prostate. A lot of questions were being asked, So as a result of that, it was able to help so many persons. So that's something to pay attention to. So, of course, this morning, as usual, we're discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. We have 2 hours. Keep in mind that we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And today's topic, I'm going to speak about something that affects so many individuals and is a concerning situation. And I don't think I ever spoke about it in depth. So, we're going to have a little in-depth discussion as regards to Alzheimer's. Now, this is a serious situation. So we're going to discuss exactly what really is Alzheimer's, what are some of the symptoms that you experience or you would begin to experience, because Alzheimer's, like most chronic diseases, are progressive diseases. They happen over a period of time, cumulative, as it is called. So we're going to discuss what are some of the symptomology, what do you look for, especially in appearance, because Alzheimer's usually affect persons later down in their years, late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that type of thing. So how could you avoid or even reverse? Could Alzheimer's be reversed? That's the question. Good. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Of course, keep in mind our contact numbers, and we're also going to touch on what is known as vascular dementia, which is like a form of Alzheimer's, but early form of Alzheimer's situation. We're going to discuss dementia because, in some cases, you have different levels of dementia, and some aspects of dementia actually come with serious violent attacks and violent outbursts. So we're essentially speaking about mental health to an extent today. And of course, the discussion always progresses rather, and we go accordingly. Keep in mind our clinics and those locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We're also on the corner of Ramsamuch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Davie. That telephone number for Davy is 223-7515. Again, that's 223-7515. And keep in mind our St. James location. We are located on the Red Edge Mall. That's Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. Again, that's 220-8113. And of course, I'll give you the rest of information as we continue. So, let me say a pleasant good morning to our Facebook family. A lot of persons in already. Miss Becca says good morning, Dr. Batson, and all listeners. Miss Forestine Augustine. Miss Forestine Augustine, good day, Dr. Batson, and all tuned in. Have a blessed day. Miss Maria Cooper says good morning. Honey Bay in the house. Good morning with a big heart. Same to you, my dear. Miss Jacqueline Rogers Blackmon says good morning to Batson and Associates. Miss Cindy Hoyt, happy Sunday to you as well. Miss Cecilia Idan. Elvis Lamout asked the question, blessed morning, Dr. Batson. How do you deal with excessive inflammation that causes pain in the body? Good. So I'm going to remember that question, Mr. Lamout, and a little later on, we're going to discuss that. Okay, sir? Ms. Grace Williams says, good sunny Sunday morning, Dr. Batson. And she has a question. She's asking... Oh, she says, I got a question. When are you going to get our water in the Chaguanas branch? We actually have water in Chaguanas. As far as I know, Chaguanas didn't run out of water. Yeah, we have, man. And you're speaking about something about Tuesday coming this week. Okay, yeah, we have. Don't worry yourself, man. And Miss Marcia Letron as well says good morning. So, Alzheimer's. So Alzheimer's is chronic ailment that actually affects the central nervous system. So it interferes with functions like memory, cognitive function, and it is a form of dementia, actually. Now, the thing is, you would have heard me mentioning vascular dementia, and vascular dementia is a form of dementia where the central nervous system, as I said, the brain is primarily interfered with or affected. And because of various aspects of the brain being affected, you find you have situations where cognitive function, memory, motion, and whatnot actually can be impeded or interrupted. Because you find the persons who have Alzheimer's, you realize with Alzheimer's patients, they go and come. So they will be able at some point in time to recall names, to recall faces, and they will have a proper conversation with you, and then all of a sudden they come into a phase where they cannot remember their children's name, their daughter or son would be in front of them, they wouldn't be able to recognize their face. They would repeat conversations or statements that they would have made already, in some cases on a consistent basis. So their conversations are usually, there is no cohesiveness to the conversation. You know, it's usually all over the place, that type of thing. However, as you realize, as I said, it is not a continuous situation. They would have times when they are good and times when they are bad. So I'm going to explain to you why that happens. Now, a lot of persons do not know that dementia and mental illness is strongly linked to a few things. So that's what we're going to discuss today. So one of the things that Alzheimer's and vascular dementia and all those things have in common is lack of blood flow to the brain. So I'll say it again. So Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, even Parkinson as well, those neurological diseases or neurological issues are closely linked to lack of blood flow to the brain. And of course, we know why, right? We know blood is responsible for transporting oxygen and nutrients to cells. I always tell persons this, basic biology. Cells give you tissues, tissues give you organs, organs give you organ systems, and organ systems give you the body. So an example, a heart cell could now give you heart tissue. Heart tissue can now give you an organ, which is the heart. Organs give you organ systems, which is the cardiovascular system, which would comprise your heart and various other blood vessels of the cardiovascular system. And organ systems, which will include the cardiovascular system, the central nervous system, musculoskeletal system, endocrine system, sexual reproductive system, and on, would give you the body. So the blood circulation always has to be from a cellular level. Blood circulation is not necessarily from tissue or organ level. It has to be from a cellular perspective. So it means that persons who usually have affects or who are affected rather with vascular dementia, Alzheimer's, they're not getting sufficient blood flow to various parts of the brain. And various CT scans, when they would have done clinical studies where they did CT scans, which are computer tomography. So how CT scans basically operate, they're three-dimensional. So it's like a CT scan is primarily like a three-dimensional X-ray. Right, then you have MRIs, which are magnetic resonance imaging. And as a result of that, they're able to see ischemic lesions in the brain or ischemic areas or ischemia, which is where you do not have sufficient blood flow or lack of oxygen in various parts of the brain. And they realize that because of the damage in these various aspects, it now affects neurological function, memory, cognitive function, various skills associated with motor skills and how one would be able to actually comprehend and carry on proper conversations, which is why persons with dementia and Alzheimer's, as I said, the conversation is never a coherent conversation in the points or at the times when they're having the various bouts of this particular situation. All right, so that's something to pay very, 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 very close attention to. As it relates to, because remember, if various parts of your brain control a number of things, right? Emotion, cognitive function. Cognitive function is your ability of, which include things like reasoning, especially what is referred to as deductive reasoning, which is your ability to actually hear information, process the information, and then make a decision based on the information that you basically went through. So those are the various aspects that would be affected. It is similar to when persons, because the thing is, persons who have gotten strokes, whether they they experience bleeding strokes or they experience bleeding strokes, which are hemorrhagic strokes, or ischemic strokes, which are lack of oxygen to the brain type strokes, in instances you realize they almost behave or they have similar behavioral patterns like persons who suffer from vascular dementia and Alzheimer's, based on the explanation that I just gave, because lack of oxygen to various parts of the brain or of any organ in the body is going to result in that organ beginning to malfunction. Now remember, our brain primarily has a network of neurons. Neurons and neurotransmitters, which are the messengers, they constantly have to be in communication. The entire circulatory system has to be functioning. And then there is something called your blood-brain barrier, which is a protection that they have, or the body has, where all substances are not able to cross the blood-brain barrier. And that, if you really study what the blood-brain barrier is, that actually protects your brain from a number of invaders, from a number of different aspects of causing serious brain damage. So not all substances or all chemicals have the ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. There are actually certain types of supplementation that would be used if I am dealing with someone, or we are dealing with someone who has vascular dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, because there are substances in the aspects that could actually cross the blood-brain barrier and have significant benefit to persons as it relates to their mental health. So that's something you need to take into consideration. So let me give you those telephone numbers again and location. Keep in mind, for our online consultations with our clients, you can have or give us a call on 1-868, that's 373-2388. So area code 868-373-2388. And of course, for deliveries and any questions that you may have, if you need to make requests, you can send that to 314-9975. 314-9975. I try not to give you all too much numbers, but then I say, of course, if I give everybody, because the problem is I used to give everyone the 222-8261, and then that phone is, that phone is always, it's difficult to get through to that phone, and that's for head office. So that's why I give you the David. David is 223-7515. St. James, of course, is 220-8113, 220-8113. And Tobago, which is Triangle Building in Scarborough, that number is 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. Miss Pamela Moses, good morning to you. Miss Regina Murray, good morning. This is our Facebook family here. Everyone is in the house. Miss Jacqueline A. Noel, Miss Kathleen Luke, Miss Joan Garcia, Miss Regina Murray says good morning, Miss Carol Myers, and Miss Jacqueline Short. Good morning to all of you guys. So let me just touch on that question that the gentleman asked. Let me see if I can remember your name. I remember the question where you were speaking about inflammation. So you had asked, right, good. Yeah, he had asked if inflammation in the body that causes pain could be reversed. Of course, the answer is yes. You know, just yesterday in that lecture, one of the explanations I was giving with inflammation is that inflammation, not information, right, is INFLAMMATION. Inflammation, right? Not information. Good? And inflammation, or what is referred to as inflammatory response, is the body's natural way of dealing with stress, with dealing with disease. I'll give you an example. So you walking and you just happen to fall down. You fell, you might slip, you might be bathing in the bathroom, you fall down. And you just happen to hit, unfortunately, your head or some part of your body. What automatically happens? What happens? You can swell, right? The swelling is inflammation at work. So the reason why that swelling there is taking place. I mean, granted, you could have situations where you might experience a hematoma, sorry. You might have some little damage to the tissue. But the reason why it swells is because what the body does, it rushes to that part of the area and actually creates what is known as inflammatory response. An inflammatory response involves a number of key components. It involves the immune system, because inflammatory response actually makes up or comprises part of the body's natural immunity. So this swelling now is white blood cells rushing to that area to sort of cordon off the problems. So remember, you just got a lash or a blow. And the thing is that tissue is going to begin to damage and whatnot. So what the body is doing, the body is automatically putting things in place to start repair and to prevent damage and further breakdown from the tissue and that kind of thing. Send some white blood cells, whatnot. If it's a cut, it's going to actually bring in things like platelet aggregating and that type of thing, where the body actually starts to clot, to form a scab or a cork to block it so that you don't bleed to death. And that essentially is one particular or a big part of what inflammation in the body is. So it is necessary for us to have inflammation in the body. But here what causes the problem? When the inflammation is excessive. So excessive inflammation or excess amounts of stress and pressure actually causes that particular situation. So the perfect example, you know, the old people have a saying, too much of one thing isn't good for nothing, right? So it means that inflammation, as I said, in its natural, regular levels is contributive, is important, it is vital for our survival. But it becomes a problem when it is in excess. And that is why inflammatory conditions, for example, lupus, not to stray too much, and lupus is something that bothers me. And I'll tell you why it bothers me, because I see lupus people really suffer. And I mean, I'm not saying that I can help everybody, but I have been very successful with a number of lupus patients. But people who have autoimmune conditions have to understand that their diet is very tricky. And tricky in the sense, it's not that it is a doable diet or it's very difficult to know. The problem is you cannot slip up when you have autoimmune conditions. Sugar is one of the major contributors to autoimmune conditions. You know why? Whenever you consume sugar, especially artificial sugar, so we're talking about man-made business here, sucrose and that type of thing. Fructose, you know, you get from fruits, and that is further broken down. The form of sugar that your body utilizes is glucose. Your body doesn't use sugar in any other form. Glucose is the simplest form of sugar, and your body uses glucose to do what? To be utilized later on in the body for energy. So that's why someone who's diabetic, they have a problem with glucose because glucose remains in your bloodstream. So it's traffic jam. Glucose has no right to be in the road. I mean, cars have the right to be in the road, yes, but they're not supposed to be there. So essentially, you have something. It is supposed to be there, no, but it is not supposed to be there for an extended period of time. Let me say that. So there are keys, and that's what type 2 diabetes is. There are receptor cells in the body are actually supposed to open to take the glucose up and store it in the cells until your body is actually ready to use it as energy. The problem with persons with type 2 diabetes is that the keys is almost those receptor cells, look at them as keys for doors. The key is not working. So the door cannot open for the glucose to go in and to be utilized later on as energy. Right? So the thing is, that is why easy business. So the question is, how do you improve blood circulation to your brain, right? That'll be the next obvious question to me. But before we go there, let me just touch on what are some of the symptoms of dementia and the symptoms of Alzheimer's. So this is, especially those of you who have older parents, you know, you may be guardians, you may be caregivers. It is very important. Okay, so one of the signs, of course, is loss of memory, right? You know, they would be saying, you know, all of a sudden, they might ask you the question, who are you? What are you doing here? Or they might go to the point where you're actually having a conversation, and the conversation, for some reason, as I said, it is not cohesive. So let's say you start having a conversation about books, and then they just switch and mention something like maybe flowers or something that is not in connection with the conversation that you're having. And then they go back to the conversation that you started having. That is a sign. When you see persons experiencing situations where you hear they complaining of a lot of dizziness. Now you have vertigo and you have vertigo. So vertigo is the skin situation, and vertigo is the situation where you have problems with dizziness. Now, most persons who have dizzy issues and issues with, you know, for example, you might get up and you just feel the room spinning. God forbid if that happens to you if you're driving a vehicle. And I have known of persons that has happened to them driving. And of course, you think of yourself as a driver. That is one of the most frightening experiences you could ever have, right? But that is a serious condition that, again, is an indication of lack of blood flow to the brain. I always tell persons, after your gastrointestinal system, your central nervous system or your circulatory system is the next most important system in the human body. It is vitally, vitally important that that system be maintained. Good. One of the other things too as well you need to pay attention to is situations with tremors. That's a very important thing. So what are tremors? So when you see persons begin to shake, a lot of persons experience tremors via the head. So they literally look, and this is not to be facetious or to make a joke about it. You know those dashboard puppies go? There are people who start to experience that. So that is also a sign to look for. Good. Now, the thing is, a lot of times Western medicine tells us, well, you know, we don't know why people get sick, and we don't. No. That is not true. We know. A lot of people just don't like to accept that that is the reason why they're in the condition that they're in the condition. Because, of course, I'm going to say one of the things that you need to do to combat things like dizziness, poor blood circulation to the brain would be what? The curse word for a lot of people, it's, the D word, which is diet, and the E word, which is exercise. Because yeah, diet and exercise and stretching. A lot of people do not know that even stretching and deep breathing is actually a very good thing to begin to practice. And you don't have to start off like, when you see it in the movies where they sit down and they cross their foot and they breathe in and yeah, that is advanced business. You ain't reached there yet. So don't jump in. The people think I want to play as a professional. Sit down. Normal sit down and start to breathe. Deep, just gradual. And don't do any big, you're not, as I said, you're now starting off. So in degrees, increments. And once you keep doing that, because what deep breathing does is actually improves blood circulation to the brain, strengthens your lungs. That's why I always tell persons, when you're drinking water, do not drink water at what temperature? Do not drink cold water. Yeah, there are a lot of persons who find that is ridiculous. They will say, well, I don't understand that. What is the difference between drinking cold water and what's the difference between drinking room temperature water and drinking hot water? There's a huge difference in all aspects. Let me run through it quickly. When you drink hot teas, which is why I'm a huge advocate of tea. I mean, that's one of the things, when I did Chinese medicine, that's one of the things you understand. And hot teas, and not to harp up the point, I know some of you all, we're actually correcting our current tea situation right now, so don't worry all yourself. We'll fix that just now. Normal challenges and roadblocks in the road, but such is life. All right. Yeah. So with that situation, you find that with drinking teas, it does a number of things. It stimulates digestion. It improves circulation. It helps your body get rid of waste, especially fat. Because think about it. You eating a meal. So today's Sunday, right? So somebody must be hitting some a potato salad, a macaroni pie, a big chicken, grease business. Yeah. Somebody that pot, it didn't even have callaloo in that mix. First all, wicked. No callaloo, no fresh salad. So is that you come to hand me heart disease and I plate this Sunday morning and say, yes, honey, I love you. If you're insured, that you love they're looking for. Anyway, but the point is with that, is that when you consume hot, it actually helps to clean the lining of your blood vessels and those type of things. You know that? Because if you take butter and put it in hot water, what will happen to it? Well, melt, right? But if you take butter and put it in cold water, what happens to it? All right? Common sense made before book, right? So that's the reason why you consume hot. Room temperature is essentially important because your body is not able to process cold water immediately. Remember, temperature is a vital part of the body's function. Remember, temperature affects you. Beg your pardon, sir?
Homeostasis?
Correct. Homeostasis, balance. That's why if you are put in extreme cold conditions, what happens to you after a while? Hypothermia. You're going to die there because temperature affects the body externally and internally. If we have situations, I think people end up with heat stroke. The place so hot. That's why you need to keep hydrated in situations like that. So those were just two examples to help you to understand how temperature affects the body. So if temperature affects you externally like that, what do you think going to happen internally? So this discussion is for all the cold water people who insist that they cannot do without cold water, regardless of how much you explain to them. And this is also for the ice eaters. You know, they have the ladies, you all just be in a corner with a cup or a bowl. And that is it there, you know.
Yeah, I met someone the other day and said,
yeah, if you let, if
it's not ice, it's not bowl ice.
Yes, I'm telling you, it have somewhere much more if you let loose them on the North Pole there, that is it, you know. The ice caps and them gone, you know. But of course, we know when you eat ice like that, that is an indication of being anemic. There's a clear indicator that you're anemic and you have hormonal imbalance problem. Your menstrual cycle not functioning properly. So that was just an example as to how cold, when you experience, so people who do that, you're going to damage yourself. You're going to damage yourself. So the better type of water to consume in terms of temperature is room temperature water. And then what you have to understand, there are some things, for example, with heat. Heat could actually denature enzymes, which is why we have problems because we cook our food too much. This generation, right. the Western world overcooks the food. You know? Everything. Yeah, like, yeah, but when you think of things like barbecue and you think barbecue is born food, you know, that ain't good again. It is said that a barbecue breast and wing is equivalent to about 10 packs of cigarette in terms of carcinogens. What are carcinogens? Cancer-causing chemicals. Grill is the preferred choice. So grill, remember, grill food is a heated surface. Barbecue is the introduction of coals and those type of, that's hydrocarbons. So you actually change the chemistry of the meat. So what you're eating now, you introduce hydrocarbons. So you change that whole chemistry will actually include or now make cancer-causing chemicals. So you need to be very careful with those things. You need to be very careful with smoked meats too. Very, very careful. Because I know in Tobago, they do like smoked fish and that type of thing, but they may use specific type wood because of that. So like might use mango wood. There's a next one that they use, I think purple heart, but I don't know. Do you get purple heart in Trinidad, boy? Yeah, a kind of cherry. Yeah, kind of thing. That's a bit different, and still they have to be careful because they can't over smoke it. In some cases, they just give it a light flavor. And of course, there's fish. But you know, we know the time of the year coming up, and not trying to put any spoke in olive oil. But some people only eat a particular type of meat at that time of the year. So just make sure and have your santul and line up there, so you make sure and take your necessary cleanse. Because and that's the thing, a lot of people, not to deviate from the conversation. Dr. Batson is not telling you, or no one in fact is telling you that you have to eat 100% clean. That's a very difficult thing to do. It is. Nobody is saying no. But you have to understand, if you specifically have challenges, so you are diabetic, you're hypertensive, you have cardiovascular disease, you are not supposed to be complaining about diet. You need to shut up and eat what you get. That is what you need to do. Because you're in a situation where your diet will kill you. Other people will take, sorry, that's...
Folks who are in the hospital and still telling them what you want to eat.
Yeah, but we had that conversation the other day. I was having a very great conversation. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Mr. Stanley Hoyt. I don't know if you're listening to this program, but, a mentor of mine, a true gentleman in terms of health and, actually helping persons. And, we are having an interesting conversation. Intellect and intellect at its best. So I love to sit down and speak to people like this because I like a sponge. I soaking up everything. So in any case, we were having a conversation. One of the things that he said, a lot of persons do not understand that the hospital primarily, he said, if you go into accident and emergency, they run some tests. Your chest might be hurting you. They run 1 or 2 tests. They hook you up, check your bloods. They realize, hey, listen to me, you never know heart attack. You know what they're going to do with you? To the back of the class. The back of the room, because you are not an emergency. So he said, essentially, when you're there in the hospital, in accident and emergency, because your hand hurting you, your head hurting you, your belly hurting you, you're trespassing, you have no right to be there. That is not for you. You ain't coming with a bullet wound, you ain't fall down, you're not pregnant and ready to give birth. Why are you there? And that is just to say, that, we need to understand the aspect of it, because the hospital is not the wonderful hotel that they have by the waterfront there, or the one they have when you're going over the hills, Lady Young. It's not those, where you lie down in a room and you call and you tell them you want, grilled shrimp or salmon and vegetables. And no. When you're in the hospital, you eat what they give you. And a lot of the times, because of the limited resources, and I'm not getting into the politics, I understand the point I'm making. Because of the limited resources, they're not able to feed you as optimally as you would like. I think they're going to make salad with blueberries and strawberry and lettuce and kale and thing for you. No, man. if you get kale, no, that ain't happening. That is not happening. So Trinidad and Tobago, the listeners, and all the listeners, our international listeners, you have to mind your business. And that's why I always tell people.
Someone is asking here, Doc, on the topic of water.
Right.
How do we sit and drink water?
Ideally, that is recommended because it is said that standing and drinking water actually puts some stress on your joints, and it also puts some stress on your kidneys as well. So it is better to sit and drink water. We know when you're drinking water, you don't gulp water. You should sip reasonably. But the thing is with drinking water properly comes over a period of time like with everything else practicing. Which is why, as I tell persons, as my former boss used to say, Mr. Spencer, stick-to-itiveness, consistency, and discipline. You need to do. So the thing is, even me, when I started to drink water, because I didn't used to drink water when I was younger, and I know that's why I was sick. I used to have headaches for a week, 2 weeks. I can't go to school. I lied on my head until me. I mean, later on, my parents realized it was problems with my eyes as well, and straining my eyes on the blackboard, whatever the case may be.
Right.
But in general, it was also because I was dehydrated, because I didn't used to drink water. I didn't understand at that point in time the fundamentals of drinking water and whatnot. I only understood that when I was like about late teens, 18, 19 there. I you're starting to go a little gym and, you're concerned about exercise and whatnot. And then I realized how important water was. And by practicing over a period of time, now I drink the amount of water I drink, which generally is about 5 liters of water for the day. I am 6'1" and something, 200 pounds. And that's the water I drink for the day. But that came over a period of time. And that's why I'm telling person that beg your pardon?
You're saying this.
But the rule, what, for the rule for drinking water, your body weight divided by 2 ounces? Yeah. So the thing is, you can always be over your amount, because I over my amount. My amount's supposed to be, yeah, but remember, if it is you're training gym, or I'm going to take and you're busy and you're working, your brain working 24 hours and 25 hours, like how mine is be going, then it means you need to replenish, you need to put so. But what I'm saying, that didn't happen overnight. It was a progressive thing. And that's what a lot of people, when you tell them they need to drink the body weight divided by 2 ounces, and they say, but this man on your radio, he's a madman. What are you talking about body weight divided by 2 ounces? I drink 1 glass of water. So I don't expect you to go from drinking 1 glass of water every day to go automatically to 8 glasses. No, you'll end up sick. You'll put a lot of stress. You'll send your body.
To just drop what is if I say you're going to practice breathing exercises.
Yes.
All you know is you have customary.
Yeah.
You take deep breaths when the doctor says breathe in.
Breathe in, right. Breathe out. Yeah. And that I think is a lot of, in management, they teach you the acronym SMART, which is S, smart, specific. S is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and targeted. Correct. That's it. Yeah. So that's just to tell you. So whatever goal you're looking at, whether you're going to lose weight, whether you're looking at regulating your blood sugar, whether you're looking at regulating your blood pressure, whether you're looking at improving your memory, exercising. I don't expect you to jump out yourself and just go. You go and join a gym. I remember that when I was younger, that happened. Young fellas, all of us, we go on gym training, and I was in pain for about 2 weeks because my mother said something is wrong with you. My father, he said, you want to get strong, what, in 1 day? Because you're excited, so you go on, we do doing chest, we do back, we do leg, every machine in that gym we was on. Even the instructor was, I just see what, just laughing, he must say, wait, I will see them. The 2 weeks after, when we come back, he's smiling, he said, all right? Say, yeah. He said, all overdo it now. Say, yeah. He said, don't worry, that's how it is be. So that is what is expected, or not expected rather. You gradually get yourself there. You have a little situation, you like food, like most of us do. You might like too much of the wrong types of food. So mix it. I don't expect you to go all cold turkey, accustomed eating rice. I don't expect you to go and eat rice and stop eating rice and go and eat quinoa just so. But you can mix it. You say, well, okay, I'll take brown rice, and you take half quinoa or half rice or 3/4 rice, quarter, and eventually you're going to get there. You know why you're going to get there? Because you're going to realize the improvements in yourself for yourself. So you'll realize, but wait, my belly going down. But wait, I'm sleeping better. But my skin looking better. But you realize my hair looking different. I'm feeling more relaxed. I'm feeling calmer. And you realize, hey, I like this feeling. I like how I'm looking. And then gradually, over a period of time, you will continue doing it. Even people with weight loss. There's a lot of people, you have some size. But why your size affecting other people? Now, people might hear Dr. Batson on the radio talking, and you need to lose weight, your belly big, whatever the case may be. But Dr. Batson could say that. I'm not living in your house. So you have to know piece by piece. Don't go on. I always tell people, those fab weight loss diets, I'm not a fan of at all. Somebody called me the other day. I see this diet on the internet. I say, Miss Lady, just be careful for me, please. I say, when you do those things, you send your body into shock. You lose the weight, and you know what your body going to do? When the weight had to come back, it come back twice the amount.
Twice, yep.
Because there was no practical aspect in that program of weight loss. You want to lose weight, I always tell persons, intermittent fasting, do the 12-hour fast. So if you know you get up 5 o'clock, you're going to get up a little earlier, get up 5 o'clock, drink a cup of hot tea or hot water. You drink a next cup of water, and you have your meal an hour. So that's 5:30. 6 o'clock, you have your meal. Some form of protein. Could be 2 boiled eggs, a piece of grilled fish. If you have access to proper chicken, grilled chicken, and you can do some vegetables. That's your breakfast. And for the next 12 hours, all you do is drink hot tea. It doesn't even have to be tea. It could be hot water, or you put a little lime in the water. The reason why you're using hot is to prevent the buildup of gas throughout the day. Because remember, you're not going to eat solid for 12 hours. Good. So we don't want you to end up with gas. We don't want you to end up with bloating, early belly hurting, all these kind of problems. So you have to drink hot tea. If for some reason you experience any lightheadedness, it means your blood sugar is a bit low. You could have either dates or some little small piece of fruit. Something just to keep the blood sugar levels up. Good? Are you drinking water?
Hot water, not hot chocolate, no milk,
no sugar. Right. Plain thing. Clean business here. Right. And then 6 o'clock in the evening, you break fast. You always break fast with some sort of protein. So again, whether it's a piece of grilled something or 2 boiled eggs. I wouldn't advise, some people want to go legumes, but I find legumes in the evening is a little problematic unless you have exceptionally good digestion. So I wouldn't suggest like chana, because chana is actually a good form of protein. But I wouldn't recommend you eat chana. It's better if you do the chana in the morning, and in the night. 2 boiled eggs is an easy gift. Or 1 boiled egg and a cup of hot tea, and you're good to go. And that's your fast day. Do that twice for the week. You will be surprised to see how you look. Batson Associates, you could hit a advanced chlorophyll, a silver with mineral formula, a santulan, and some alkagen water. We space it out for you, man, and you're feeling nice. You start to realize you might have to give away your clothes because your waistline start to go down. And that was just an example of gradual, piece by piece. You're not in any competition with anybody. I always tell people that. The problem with most of us is that we're looking at everybody else. You're not in competition with anybody else but yourself. And you're doing that for you, not for anybody else. You're diabetic, the blood sugar high, you're getting problems with the sugar not going down. Taking insulin, which of course is one of the worst things you could possibly do, because insulin will just make things 1,000 times worse. Because a lot of people do not understand the relationship between insulin and glucose. And when you take insulin, you actually end up becoming more insulin resistant. And you now have a higher blood sugar over a period of time. Which is why most people who take insulin, there's a particular point in time where they reach where the insulin, it doesn't work. Or it appears as if, well, it's not working. And the blood sugar is elevated. So you're taking insulin and your sugar is still 500. Because the body has become so intolerant and so desensitized as regards to the proper function of insulin, that the insulin is giving problems to work. It's not working again. The body is almost not even recognizing it. And that is a dangerous place to be, because those are the diabetics who end up losing their eyesight and end up as amputees. You lose toes and then you start to lose your feet and those type of things. So it's vitally important, essential that you pay very close attention to that. Okay, so let me just give you the telephone numbers again, and then we're going to go to the lines and entertain the questions that you may have. So for the Shoguna's office, keep in mind our pensioner special, excellent special. We had some persons coming in this week, and they were very satisfied. It's something that value for money, and we actually able to help a lot of persons, in a specific economic bracket. So for Shoguna's, that number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamut Trace and the SS Erie Main Road. In Debe, that telephone number is 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. 226-4553. Remember, If you're not following us on Facebook as yet, and your social, your internet savvy, please do. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Mr. Dominic, sir, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, so far, one message I'm telling only today is not the day. Today is just not the day. You need to get your messages in early. 333-9950. 333-9950. That is the number to send your messages to. And of course, we take your calls at this time as well. 625-2759 or 624-7729. 625-2759 or 624-7729. Message on the board. Does the Chaguanas or St. James branch have Inflammation T and Optic Plus?
We have Optics Plus, but Inflammation T or Inflammation Formula, they mean. A lot of the teas we carry would help with inflammation, but Inflammation Formula, yes. Yes, we do. All the offices have. We have iOptics in stock. We have Nerve Restore. We have Optimizer. We have, we are thing, man.
All right. So again, my friends, we are waiting on you this morning. Don't say you're waiting on Dr. Batson. We're waiting on you. Send your messages at 333-9950, or you can give us a call at 625-2759 or 624-7729. Yeah? Doc, go right ahead.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm looking through our social media. Miss Diane Bain, she says, good morning, Dr. Batson. When she says, I slice my lemon, freeze it, and eat it. What do you think? Well, yeah, you could do that, man. That's not a problem. But the thing is, what do you do? Put it in your tea? Put it in hot tea? Miss Kathleen Luke asks, when do you eat fruits? Can you eat fruits instead of eggs in the morning? Well, you see, the thing is, that's actually a very good question. Now, fruits are good for you. However, if you have a diabetic situation, you should have fruits earlier in the day and not later in the day. So if you are diabetic, you can eat fruits. Do not be, fool and talk. They tell me not to eat fruits. No. We tell people they can't eat fruits, but they can eat bread. How that making sense? No sense at all. And worse yet, white bread. No sense. Right? So you can use fruits. We know the type of fruits as regards to gauging in terms of glycemic index and that kind of thing. So banana is a very sweet fruit. You have pawpaw, you have watermelon. So those things you can eat, yes. What I suggest you do when you're eating fruits, don't mix the fruits. When you do fruit salads, that could be problematic to your digestive system because you have different fruits. So the combination is not what you could do. You can actually look on the internet, on YouTube. They actually have some very good information there as regards to combination because I can't go through all of them. Where, like for example, watermelon. Watermelon is a fruit you don't really use with anything else. You always use watermelon by itself, and there's a reason for that because of a number of aspect of what it has in the fruits and that type of thing. Banana could be used with like banana, pawpaw. That's okay together. But as I said, you use it earlier in the day because what happens to a lot of persons is sometimes you're going and you mix fruits with proteins and carbohydrates, and what you could do is actually mess up your digestive system. Now, some people tolerate that better than others, but most people don't. Right? You could create a lot of gas, you create a lot of problems in the digestive system. So it's always good when you're using. One of the things that I actually practice is that if I'm having salad, I would have salad alone, but it would be a big salad. Right? Someone was asking the question, if when you're having salads, could you have salads with meat in it? And you can. Whether you do a piece of grilled chicken breast and you cut it up, or you do a piece of fish or maybe seafood, shrimp, that type of thing, and you have the salad with it. And a lot of times too, it comes with practice and knowing yourself, because once you start drinking the water, like just yesterday in the lecture, one of the ladies was telling her, she came to us and she used something. There's a product we have called Digestive Restore. What Digestive Restore does is actually bring back balance in the digestive system. Because keep in mind that your gastrointestinal system, which includes the colon, which is the small and large intestines, is fundamentally major as it relates to one's health and your immune system, because 70% of your immune system lies in your gut. So it's vitally important, as I said, that you maintain the homeostasis, the balance in the gut area. And food is very easy to cause that problem because of what the food we have now has in it. Remember, there are a lot of persons who have things with various types of seasonings and vexin and pepper and spices can actually adversely affect your intestines. Curry, for example, if a lot of persons, I mean, I would eat curry ever so often, maybe like about 3 times a year or something. I actually am a dater now. Yeah, I have a day. I actually have Dominic want to die here earlier. No, seriously, I would not. I am not the type of person who just go and buy, you know, curry just like that, roti or I would say like maybe every 3 months or 4 months I would eat. Yeah, I like authentic Indian food. So there are those places where you would get things like naan, that type of thing. Which I find the way that curry is actually prepared is actually better because it is less problematic on your stomach. Caribbean people do curry differently as compared to authentic, and then there are a lot of persons sometimes they cook their food according to how they taste now. And they like a lot of pepper, and pepper is something that has a lot of health benefits, but it is in the form in which the pepper is that a lot of people do not understand. Like cayenne pepper, for example, is actually a very good form, a type of pepper. But how do you use it? You know, if you have the powder, you mix it, whatever the case may be. But when you're using pepper, because you know Trinidad actually has some of the hottest peppers in the world, right? They're like scorpion pepper, right? So the thing is, we would do that, but the thing is, pepper could actually cause serious inflammation in the intestines. It could cause problems with So think of people who like plenty pepper. Check them later down in their life. Sick, GERD, gastrointestinal reflux disease, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome. You open yourself to a lot of inflammatory conditions because remember you're using high season, high pepper, and then in some cases you're not drinking enough water. You might be using a lot of flour. So the diet is not as it's supposed to, and as a result of that, you find that you end up in those situations. So that's the next product you could ask for. I am as regards to those particular the gastro teas and those type of things. We're gonna get that shortly for you. As I said, we just have a little challenge we're dealing with, and once we complete that, everything will be okay as regards to that. And then of course we have a new tea line. A few of them that we actually getting, we're going to be getting back the women's, because we actually had a tea for uterus and fibroids and that type of thing, and we stopped getting it. But we are going to actually start to get those from the beginning of next year, God's willing. So that's something to look forward to. We're going to have a new arthritis tea. We're going to have a new tea for diabetes. We're also going to have tea for eyesight. So, you know, some good things coming there.
All right. Let's see you on the line. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning and greetings to the doctor and the talk show host.
Yes, good
I
day,
would
sir.
like to find out what is plantar fasciitis, please.
Plantar fasciitis. Yeah, that has something to do with sending them back to school here, man.
Plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
One of the most common causes of pain.
Pain around the heel and the arch. Well, the thing is, there's a musculoskeletal situation. I wanted to know which category of the organ systems it falls in. So this falls in the category of musculoskeletal system. So we're looking at bones, tendons, ligaments, those type of things. So this is basically an inflammatory condition. It could definitely be caused, one of the reasons is the type of shoe you wear. A lot of persons, because some persons, depending on your arch, so there are some persons who are flat-footed. The problems with a lot of shoes now, especially these lovely ladies who love to wear these lovely high-heel shoes, they cause a lot of problems where they actually shift the force on different parts of the foot, and it's not a natural force. So the thing is, that type of situation can actually cause issues where you now create an inflammatory condition. Remember, in order for inflammation to affect your musculoskeletal system, it has to be either one, some sort of injury, two, some sort of acid. Because when you think of the way your bones are, look like, for example, apart from this particular ailment here, let's take into consideration heel spur. Heel spur is a situation where you have a problem with acid. So excess acid needs what? In order to balance in chemistry, we know what? An alkalizer or wood, basically, you need a base to alkalize a acid. Good? So in terms of bases in the body, the most readily available base or alkalizer in the human body is calcium. Calcium is stored where? In your bones. Your bones are made of calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus in the form known as calcium phosphate. Your thyroid is the organ that actually controls the amount of calcium that leaves your bone at any given time. Good? So if you have hypothyroidism, and what they realize, even with this particular situation, with the plantar fasciitis, as well as things like heel spur and even bunions, they realize that is because of acid. So what happened? Where it is sensitive in the area, the body is going to pull calcium. It's going to pull calcium. It's going to pull calcium. And as a result of that, the bone is actually going to start to protrude. There are some persons, like I remember I met someone recently where they brought what is it, boy? It was a CT scan for me to review. And when I looked at the CT scan, excellent, well done CT scan. One of the things the CT scan spoke about is in the cervical aspect of the spine. So you know how your spinal column is, right? You have C1 to C7, cervical, then thoracic, T1 to T12, lumbar, L1 to L5, and then you have what you call your bottom bone or the coccyx, that little piece there, right? Most people experience back problems in the cervical part of the spine and the lumbar part of the spine. You know why? See if I can guess why. You think you know why, Dominic? The cervical part of the spine is close to your neck. What do we have now? We have cell phones. So a lot of people, do you know that they are, and this is something they prove there, that cell phones and computers, because of actually bending, look at yourself in the mirror when you're watching your phone and you'll see what I'm talking about, what I'm speaking about. It literally causes curvature of the cervical spine and herniation and that type of thing. Those of you who have specific jobs, you might be a secretary or a typist, or you sit in a particular position for the entire day looking at a screen. You're going to get problems with your neck after a while. And then the next part is the lumbar part, which is the lower back. And the reason why we get problems with our lower back is because we do what? Think out. They sit badly. Poor posture. You ever see some people sit down? When you sit, you're supposed to sit with, yeah. If you see me drive, you would like, if you have to drive my vehicle, when you come in, you'll want to know, what's going on? Yeah, everybody's like, what is wrong with you? Why is this seat like that? I have to drive with my back straight. I cannot drive anywhere. So people is, some always drive in the back seat. Yeah. No, I can't do that. I'm going to mean a lot. And that, because you feel it after a while. But you see, the thing is, when you get accustomed, and that one of the first things persons must do is look at how you sit. Always be mindful when you sit down to sit properly. That's something my great grandma, I remember when I was real young, as you know, you're small and you sit down and you slouch. No. One lash. Sit down properly. Straighten your back. Because what it does is, over a period of time, it bothers you. And the reason why I'm explaining that to you is that when you end up, so what those situations create is inflammation in the cervical spine and inflammation in the lumbar spine. So the thing is like you throw a dice. So you don't know, you throw two dice. You don't know if you're going to get 6-6. You don't know how the mark will play. You know the most you could get, or the least you could get is 2, which is each dice roll 1-1. And the most you could get is 12 if each dice rolls 6-6, right? So the point I'm making, a lot of the times with diseases, especially diseases of the spine, you're rolling dice. You don't know what you're going to get. Because what we're sure you're going to get is pain. The diagnosis is the dice business. So they might tell you, you have spondylosis. They might say you have cervical spondylosis. You have sciatica, which affects the lumbar spine. Cervical spondylosis affects the cervical spine. Very rare people have thoracic problems. If you have thoracic problems, things real bad with you. It means that the cervical and the lumbar, or the cervical is so compromised that it ends up going lower down to the thoracic aspect. Remember, the purpose of your spinal column is to do what? Your spinal column is basically part of your central nervous system. That is what connects your brain to the rest of your skeleton, primarily. Central nervous system, that whole aspect there. So the thing is, when you have problems, because there's cushioning in between the vertebrae, as you know, Almighty God, make sure and put cushion in there. So if you jump, there is cushioning, you don't have rubbing. What happens to a lot of persons is that synovial fluid, that cushion in there, it actually begins to become worn. So it's like a washer you have, and you wash it, the rubber start to get worn. But what do? Go and let people open your back? Not my back. I ain't going through that. If you're in an emergency, you fall or something, and that's why I tell persons, you see surgery on your back, be very, 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 very careful. Because a lot of the time, it is a very easy fix. Take what I'm telling you. Easy fix. Because it involves what? Exercise. One of the laws of physics is a body in motion remains in motion. A body at rest remains at rest. So that's it. Your body is made up of, how many bones we have? I think 206, I believe, off the top of my head. Although 260, I believe so. Right. All these fellas and them connected. So you know what's going on there? Yeah, it's about 206. When you have a baby, you have much more. But the point is, everything has to be fit, or has to fit together. There's cushioning, there's fluid, so that you don't have rubbing. But there are diets and specific supplementation that actually rebuilds cartilage. Go and research it. Anybody telling you that cartilage cannot be rebuilt, I am telling you they need to go back to school. And I have no problem pointing them in the direction of the school that they need to go to. No problem. That is, you can rebuild cartilage, you can rebuild synovial fluid, but one of the problems that a lot of persons with knee issues experience is their weight. In engineering, you cannot decide that you are building a house and you build a foundation for a single-story house, a flat house. You might be a gambling man, or somebody there, they leave some money for you, and you say, hey, well, I get money now, no. I want a 3-story. Could you do the 3-story with the existing foundation that you have? Obviously not. They'll come and look for you, because the house would fall on all of you. You know the point I'm making, right? Some of us have foundations or have knees and a musculoskeletal system that is designed for a flat house. But the weight that we carry is the weight for a 4-story building. Your musculoskeletal system is under pressure. And then you're going to start to put problems of pressure on where? Your knees, the bending part. Remember, your knee carries does a lot of work. You know? So you're not exercising. You're drinking coffee 25 times for the day. There's a sugar bunny. So you like fudge, cake, everybody, ice cream. So what do you think going to happen to you? You're creating inflammation, and you have some weight. I don't like to call people obese. A lady tell me, Dr.Batson, I must say people tick. So use a tickums. So all the people, I'm no longer calling people fat and obese again. I was told yesterday, quite sternly, Dr. Batson, you must call people tick. Everybody tick, nobody fat. So to all the lovely tickums out there, the ladies, and men, if it is you tick too, well, you need to deal with that. You need to drop some of the thickness so that you don't have to end up with a knee replacement surgery. So I'm no longer calling people obese or morbidly obese, even though I spoke about morbid obesity on Thursday. So all the thick people, pleasant good morning to all the thick people listening on Sky 99.5. Ladies especially, men if you're thick, well, shout out to you too. Your belly big, you're not fat, you're thick. And for some reason, Dominic cannot help himself. So, you all right, sir?
Thick people unite.
Yeah, thick people. Next thing you see all the thick people united and come down my Batson associates. That's a felt stone in that sugar on his office in my waist.
Thick people unite. They look like Rollo. They look like roll-on.
Yeah. But that's serious. So the thing is, a lot of the times you are overweight. And then ladies, you don't understand, remember it's West Indian women we're dealing with, so thick legs, plenty, buttocks and thing. So you have to understand when you reach a certain age. There's our next thing. Let me tell these nice ladies and them. You have to understand, let me be careful, I ain't calling nobody moms, nah? You have to understand, ladies. Let me not call nobody moms here. See, I guess I'm licks. You have to understand, when you reach a certain age, you have to carry a certain weight for your age. You have to. Because when you reach that age, remember, you cannot, people can be lifting you up, watch me. When it is you have weight and you're sick, you have to deal with, man. People mash up their back, you give people Nara. You have to try and maintain a proper weight. And what about your poor husband, some of them, man? God, you kill the man. You have to maintain a little proper weight. We ain't saying you have to lose the legs and the buttocks and things. You could keep that. But we don't want the belly. Send back the belly. Return to sender. All right? So, with that being said, let me give you your telephone numbers. Again, remember to check us out on Facebook. We are Batson and so Facebook. Because people on Facebook like Bacchanal. If you see the laugh face and heart here.
I can imagine.
Miss Roxanne Didier, good morning. Miss Wendy Davidson, good morning. Frederica Joseph, good morning to you. Ava Garcia, Miss Regina Murray, Miss Janice Hampton. Janice Hampton sent out her laugh face and she doesn't say yes. You see? Janice, you tickle. You're not tickles. But all in good. So, as I always tell people, do the mirror test. Go in front of the mirror. Close the door. You want to, your children, there's a child running in the room. I want to know what's going on. Granny, what's going on with you? It's because all your clothes off and you're in front of the mirror. So please lock the door. Lock the door and go. It's a long time I tell you about this. Do the mirror test. What is the mirror test? Watch yourself. Watch everything. Watch your forehead. How are they looking? You're looking darker than the rest of your body? Well, then you need a sand tool and you need some cleaning out. How by the side of your eyes looking? Black? By your temple? Looking a little darker than the rest of you? If it is your face darker than you, well, let me tell you something. That's circulation. You're dying. That's stroke business. The first topic we talk about, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, you might be heading down that road. So be careful. Right? How on their eye looking? How your lips looking? If you know them lip and them extra dark, no, you need a clean out, especially if it is here, this puff a little bit. You gotta check that. Watch your neck. Your neck is an important part of the health thing, You see some all here with the neck here. Long time they used to bathe you with torso and thing. Right. Yeah. They are new thing now. They are fancy thing now for you to bathe with their gloves and all kind of thing. If you know you to scrub your neck and you bathe properly and you're seeing black lines on your neck, careful. That could be diabetes. Mirror test. Watch yourself. You have to watch you, Get a big mirror and you stand up in front of the mirror and watch yourself. And make notes. But ladies, you need to check yourself. When you go down, well, you might have a future, right? Or whatever the case may be. So you don't know how the girls might be looking, but it's a brassiere for that. But the stomach, what's going on? How that looking? You have rolls, you have dimples, you need to fix that. Same thing with the men. Look at yourself, watch what you must know. You have an idea. I always tell persons, your body speaks to you, but a lot of the time, we do not listen. You're not sleeping good when the night comes and you're not sleeping good for a long time. Check yourself. You're going to end up in some problems. A nervous breakdown is not a nice thing to get to know. Thank God I have never gotten one, but I have dealt with numerous people who have gotten nervous breakdowns. It is not a nice thing. So your sleep and your peace of mind is very important. Check out Nerve Restore. Make sure and drink your water. Very, very important. Look at your hair, ladies. Your hair falling? That's a problem. We could fix that. Something wrong somewhere inside of there. Your liver, seven channel detox, kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Your mouth is the next thing you must pay attention to. Watch your tongue. If you see your tongue looking coated, are you aware that your tongue is the exact replica of the lining of your intestines? So if you have ulcers on your tongue or ulcers in your mouth ulcers, watch yourself. Your gastrointestinal system in a mess. You need to check that out. Get some alkagen water, advanced chlorophyll, silver with mineral formula. You gotta check that.
Message and get bossy when the message is not being read.
Yeah, they get bossy. They must be this man talking too much. Tell him answer the question.
Wow.
Watch your skin. If they tell you have eczema, I tell somebody eczema is one of the most diagnosed. Everybody I see now, they tell me, but the doctor tell them they have eczema. You don't know eczema, your liver and your kidney and your intestines dirty, and you're not drinking enough water. Lota. You check and you might see a little lota, especially as you know, watch me, you notice some ugly lota, the black one with this razor, it look like crapo. When you have that, watch me, you know your intestines, kidney, liver, fix that. All right, so let's answer the people questions and read the comments, please.
Let's go through these things. All right. It comes, oh Lord, a week. All right. Blessed morning. Doc, can you tell us if apple cider vinegar is okay to use if I have gastric problems? And what do you suggest?
Okay, that's a good question. The thing is, yes and no. You have to know for yourself. So some persons, because I have met persons with GERD who I asked them and it didn't bother them, and I made the recommendation because it actually does help with persons with gastrointestinal problems. The challenge is if you have too much acid, you're going to be in problem. Because the thing is, you could end up with GERD. GERD is not, which is gastrointestinal reflux disease, or even acid reflux and bloating and that kind of thing. In some cases, you could have too much acid, and in some cases, you could have too little acid. So it depends on which one your state is. But you would know, because if you drink it and it bothers you, it means that you shouldn't use it. But most of the time, you just take it, like a teaspoon in about 6 ounces of water, use a straw, and drink it. And once you try it and it's not giving you problems, then continue. It should assist you over a period of time. There's also a product, as I said, we have something called Digestive Restore. That's a very good product. That actually brings back balance in the lining of the intestines. Some prebiotics inside of that, probiotics, nutrient-dense aspects. So you get a lot of help if you have a lot of bloating, gas, belching, that type of thing.
All right. The Shogunas office is located?
First floor, Money Talks building, Montrose, Shogunas. So we are actually right next to the finance people on the corner there. So when you come off the highway, you exit left, you know, you're driving like if you're driving to Shogunas. That's a no entry. So you have to turn left. And then when you turn left, you turn right, which would be, you'll be facing the traffic light, facing south. There's a building there. We are the building after that building. Money Talks building. The first floor. Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Good day. Do I have to make appointments for the pension special?
Yes, you should. You don't necessarily have to, because keep in mind we have open clinic days, and the open clinic days in Shogunas is Monday to Saturday from 9 to 5. Day bay is from Wednesday to Saturday, 9 to 5. St. James is Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and on a Saturday they are from 10 to 5. So if you're planning on doing just the consultation, but what I suggest, if you're walking in, you need to fast for an hour and a half, because that would be the blood test that we'll be doing, the blood analysis, dry and live blood analysis.
All right. Someone is asking if you're rating for dark spots on your face, but I know you just mentioned there that if you see spots and discoloration, we have to look at our livers, the kidney. There are a number of things that we have to look at before. So I hope that you caught that answer earlier on. All right. So of course you could make an appointment to visit, and you can run the test by Dr.Batson. It's okay. You take care. He not buffing nobody. All right. If you get booked, call me. Tell me one time. You deal with that. Let's take a call. Hey, hello. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning to the gentleman and the doctor.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
Doctor,
yes.
I am 4 years of age.
Nice, man.
I went to the doctor with a sprained ankle. I stepped off the pavement and didn't estimate it was that deep.
Right.
And my was praying, so I went to him.
Right.
And he texted me and he asked me, he said, do you have sugar? I told him no, because all the years I go without sugar.
Okay.
Lo and behold, when he texted me, he said, yes, you have sugar. And I took on that. I said, what? You know.
Mm-hmm. So he told you you had sugar. What? How much was your blood sugar reading?
I didn't ask him all of that. I was so shocked.
Oh Lord, they had asked him. Sugar. Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
But I have to go back to him in the next 3 weeks to have a question him about the sugar thing.
Mm-hmm. Let him give you a written something. If he did blood test, let him give you the blood test. Is it that he did additional bloods, or he just tested the sugar alone?
He tested the sugar through my finger. He just
right.
You know. And,
okay. Good.
Right.
Good. All right.
And what I like, now I have a cherry tree at the back of my house. I make cherry juice.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if I can make the cherry juice without sugar and consume it.
Okay. Yeah, of course. That is the better thing to do. That's the West Indian cherry.
Yes, I have cherries to the back of my house.
Yeah, well, if you make any cherry juice, make the cherry juice by yourself. Don't put no sugar in there. That'll be a better.
Right.
That's a better. Yeah.
This is the question I wanted to ask you. If I can make cherry juice without sugar and drink it.
Yes, definitely. The less sugar you use, especially at that wonderful age that Almighty God allow you to reach, and you want to reach a little further, leave the sugar out.
God.
Thank God, exactly.
Thank God. Right. This is what I want to find out.
But watch me, when you're ready, and with that foot, you go back by the doctor check you and thing. When you're ready, you give me a call, and I will sort out that foot for you.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a blessing. What's really?
You too, my darling. Take care of yourself.
Good program. Blessing.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Right. Next up on the board, see, morning. I exercise twice weekly at the gym. All right. Good morning, Dr. Batson. What causes sciatica nerve problems? Very painful. Yeah, very painful.
Okay. I see I have some questions from Facebook, so I'm going to tackle you guys in a little bit, right? Ms. Josie Smith, I see you have a question, Ms. Sarah, so just give me a little bit. Sorry, Dominic, just repeat that again for me. Sorry.
Yeah, we're looking at sciatica nerve problems, very painful. The person says that they exercise twice weekly.
Well, the thing is, if you have been diagnosed with sciatica, so sciatica, there's something known as your sciatic nerve, where you have like thousands of nerves in the body, right? The problem with nerves and nerves endings is that the nerves in the spinal column are very sensitive. So the sciatic nerve, basically, most of the time, has a lot to do with some level of inflammatory response. Most of the time, it's like a pinching of the lumbar vertebrae, maybe L5 to L4, or L5 might be pressing on L4. Or you have some herniation taking place there, which is what they call herniated disc. The thing is, the majority of people in the world have back problems based on what it is I explained earlier with the telephone, and then, well, most importantly was the sitting, because we sit in for years. I tell persons one of the most unhealthiest thing they have. I remember they showed a photograph at time with, hydrogenated oils, this, that, and they had a chair, and nobody could have guessed that the worst thing in that photograph was the chair. Because of sitting. Sitting is not something that you should do. When you're working, you do whatever the case is sitting, but you should do some sort of exercise to strengthen the core and strengthen your musculoskeletal system. So most of the times with sciatica, that pinching, sciatic pain actually radiates from the back down the left side most of the time. And those things are very easy to correct. You see, the thing with persons with musculoskeletal issues is that you have to understand that your body is a moving piece of machinery, moving apparatus with many different parts. So it means it's just like a vehicle. Why is it that you take a vehicle to a line? Why is it that sometimes when you go to these people and them, you have to camber your wheels and bring back into alignment? Because what? You're driving the vehicle every day. You're turning, that's wear and tear. So the human body is the same thing. You should exercise is usually what is your preventative maintenance, that type of thing, massages, physiotherapy, that type of thing, where you actually have physical manipulation to put back bones in place or to massage out or get rid of inflammatory response, improve circulation. All massages are supposed to, most in all instances, improve circulation, especially if you're doing a Swedish massage, sorry. Because the purpose of those is to improve what? Blood circulation. Once you get blood circulation to the nerves going to work better.
That's right.
What I would suggest you check out, inflammation formula, excellent product for pain. The omega with the astaxanthin, excellent product as well for pain. So there are some things that you could use, because the thing is, you have to naturally deal with the inflammation. The inflammation is already there. The inflammation is already excessive. The point is, you have to now correct it and reduce it over a period of time. Anyone who has arthritis, any arthritis could be corrected. If it is you was on a lot of steroids before and that, well, God, you're harder to help, because you further went and damaged your body unknowns to you. Because those things should have been recommended for a shorter period of time and you put on a proper diet. But again, it depends on doctor and what it is here. Like, I was telling, when I was having that conversation, one of the things that came up is we are saying that if you want bread, cheese, butter, milk, and you go in a hardware and ask them for that, they'll call St. Anne's for you. Because they say right in your head, the hardwares don't sell that. So the point is, people have to understand you need different doctors for different things. And that's why I tell people I'm not in the politics of medicine. You need different doctors for different things. It depends on what it is. And when you deal with lifestyle diseases, chronic diseases, high levels of inflammation and that type of thing, Batson is the man. They say Dan is the man, Batson is the man, I'm telling you. Because once you follow instruction, you will get the results that you want. We had people who come to us who was on wheelchair and couldn't even climb up Shogunas. Now them people coming on a Saturday, Tanti, and them are climbing up the stairs and coming and get a product and telling people when they reach there, hey, so is the case. Use this, use that, because that is what I use and it helped me. You can't be sick for years. Always keep that in mind. If you are sick for years, something wrong with you. Something is wrong. You're either doing the wrong thing, something wrong. The only people do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, is mad people. Albert Einstein.
Sure. Before you get into to the Facebook questions, someone says that you're talking a little too fast.
Oh, sorry.
Too much. All right. And let's see. You mentioned intermittent fasting earlier.
Right.
No, I don't think that we should get into the depth that you did previously.
Of course.
However,
yeah.
we can inform persons that the intermittent fasting simply means that you are breaking up your eating routine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Operative word intermittent.
That's right.
Yeah, operative
because
word.
they're asking how you're supposed to start and that process.
Mm-hmm. And do some research too. The information is there. I mean, after God is Google. Google. Right. So it's there. So just do some research. And as I tell persons, when you have intermittent fasting, you can do 12 hours, you can do 18 hours, you can do 24 hours. What you need to be mindful of, if you are a diabetic, you need to be very careful, simply because you have fluctuations in your blood glucose levels, especially if you are diabetic on insulin. You have to have proper guidance to do that. You have to know what you're doing. So, and you must know, because you know when your blood sugar go low. You start to feel very weak, you feel lightheaded. What you need to do in that fast is make sure when you get that feeling, or you must have your blood sugar monitor, at least test if you're feeling like that, and then you may just have to have like maybe a dates or 2 dates or something, because dates is a very sweet thing, and it is a healthier form of sugar as opposed to go and drink a soft drink or juice or some one of those foolishness. And it will actually help to regulate the blood sugar to maintain you throughout the day. A lot of persons, again, what the person are talking too much. One of the things that you need to understand with diabetes is that that seesaw, that up and down, sugar high, sugar low, sugar high, sugar low, sugar high, sugar low. What that does is wreak havoc on your cardiovascular system, which is why diabetics have such bad problems with circulation. Because that high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, excessive amount of glucose in the bloodstream actually strips and damages the lining of your blood vessels. The lining of your blood vessels, which are lined with cells known as endothelial cells. Those cells are very important for the whole aspect of L-arginine, L-citrulline, and the whole aspect associated with nitric oxide. When you understand what nitric oxide is, then you would realize how important that is. And all those things we offer at Batson and Associates. So again, feel free to give us a call or visit, and, we'll be able to make the necessary arrangements for you. So,
the Facebook questions.
Yeah, let me go. So someone was asking, Miss Forrestine Augustine says, Dr. Batson, what causes stretch marks and can it be reversed? Well, stretch marks primarily is just that, stretch marks, your skin with its lining and many different layers, especially pregnancy. Remember, if you're pregnant, you're going to carry some stretch marks because of carrying this large stomach over a period of time. You tend to get stretch marks very close to your buttocks, your thighs, that type of thing. Women especially. What I tell persons with stretch marks, exercise does help, especially maintaining a healthy weight. You're going to use, I always find I tell persons this mixture with coconut oil and, it's coconut oil and olive oil. Yeah, there's a mixture where you do that a ratio of 1-to-1. And you actually rub it, but that's something you have to do consistently. The thing again with persons with stretch marks is you want to use one thing and it goes. So that's over a period of time. You might have to use that well over a year to see significant results, but just use it as maybe a replacement for your lotion in that particular area or something like that, and you should see some results. But basically, stretching is what causes stretch marks. If you might start working out in the gym, like men, for example, would have stretch marks. I have. Especially close to your chest there and that kind of thing, because once you're expanding and you're getting larger, well, then you're going to have some stretch marks. Okay, so that's the best application for that. Someone asked the question, Doctor, a friend has an abscess on the outer of her upper gum. She had a bad tooth. What can she use? So the thing is, when you're dealing with dental issues, and let me say a pleasant good morning to all the hardworking dentists in Trinidad and Tobago. You see, your mouth, take as much care of your mouth as possible. I'll explain something to you. Your mouth could kill you. If you have a bad teeth, a bad teeth could kill you, right? Like literally kill you. Hospital, by the time you reach sepsis, you're dead. Right? The reason for that is that bacteria. Are you aware that your mouth is one of the most unclean parts of your body, right? Like the most unclean part. The pathogens that are in the human mouth is terrible. So much so that I remember dealing with a client. This was an overseas client. The person was actually a dental hygienist. Now, dental hygienists and dentists have a very difficult job, because if a dentist, for some reason, moves the key from some part of his or her brain and decide to touch your mouth, just like that, they're in more damage. You could do more damage to them than they could do to you. Because I have actually known of cases where persons actually got sarcoidosis. And if you do some research on what sarcoidosis is, you don't want that. It's a terrible autoimmune condition caused by a particular type of pathogen. Listen to me. That could kill you. So the point is, when you're dealing with your teeth, try your best to have your dentist visit, clean your teeth, do your flossing, do whatever you need to do. You're coming down in age, make sure and check your teeth properly, because if it is you have problems, that runs deep into the circulatory system. Remember, your teeth, your gums are connected significantly to the cardiovascular and circulatory system, and the lymphatic system. And remember, your lymphatic system is the system that cleans your blood. So in that particular case, I would recommend the advanced chlorophyll silver with mineral formula, inflammation formula. If it's really, really bad, there's an immune formula we have. That's capsules, a very good product. That's something that we could use as well. Okay, I believe I covered everyone else. I believe Miss just now. Okay, yes. They were talking about Alzheimer's, yes, because I started off hot and sweaty with Alzheimer's. The thing with Alzheimer's, you need to improve blood circulation to your brain. Optimizer, cerebral, nerve restore, omegas, big. Keep in mind, as I told you guys, if it is You're looking at omegas. Remember, there was I told persons what you need to ensure that you do. If you're on blood thinners, then omegas are a no. You need to be careful. There was a video going around some time ago where some advice was given, and it was good advice. There are some aspects that I didn't agree with. I just didn't agree with the way it was put. But of course, that's me agreeing to disagree, right? And that's my right. Okay, but so if you take things like warfarin, Clexine, if you're using aspirin, then you need to be careful with omegas. It is not recommended because omegas have blood thinning properties as well. You need to be very careful with things like turmeric and that type of thing as well. All right, so it's better you ask, you get a consultation at least. Even if we have to do it over the phone, if we have to do online, because one of the things COVID has taught us is that you can do things remotely. In the Caribbean here, we behave like if we 30 million years behind everybody. And, you need to have everybody in front of your face all the time. I'm not saying, especially with this traffic and this kind of thing, it becomes more convenient and easier. I know a lot of persons, like a lady tell me, she said, Dr. Batson, I like to see people and look at them in the eyes to know if they, I say, okay, really? But the point is, it can be done remotely as well. So take advantage of that. Those telephone numbers again for the Shogunas office. That office is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number is 222-222-8261, 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. And remember our online consultation, our international clients, London, Texas, all those individuals, the telephone number to use would be, of course, area code 868-373-2388. Again, 868-373-2388. This number, real 3 in it, boy. Cindy Hoyt says oil pulling is good also. Yes, it is actually. That's actually a very good thing. You know what oil pulling is, Dominic?
No.
Okay, oil pulling is you take coconut oil and you swish it in your mouth for a period of time, maybe swish it around for like about 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You just put it in the cold pressed coconut oil and you just swish it around. Yeah, if you do that over a period of time, that actually helps. It actually was shown, I was looking at some research recently, it was actually shown that it actually builds back enamel. Of course, we could talk hours and hours about cold pressed coconut oil, how good it is, how beneficial it is for the body, for your skin, your hair, So, oil pulling, highly advocated. Okay, Ms. Monica Cooper News. She says, good morning, Dr. Batson. Listening on Sky. Very informative program as usual. Keep up the great work. Thank you so very much. Ms. Dawn Ellis, as she said, the mouth is the window to your body. I know Ms. Dawn Ellis is involved. This is a client we have overseas in the US, and I know she is involved in some aspect of dentistry. So a pleasant good morning to you as well. Ms. Becker asked the question, Dr. Batson, the silver with formula, should one give a 5-year-old child? Also, this client is asking, is it the silver with mineral formula if a 5-year-old child could use it? Of course, definitely. Babies could use that. I actually have a client who has a baby with eczema. It was bad, and since we started the protocol, small man cleaning up nicely. Very impressive, very impressive. So that's something that even children could use. I remember I did a program this week where I spoke about long COVID, and I was speaking about respiratory considerations, things like emphysema and that type of thing. And one of the things I was telling them is that if you know you got COVID, watch yourself, this lung situation, because we're having a lot of persons now coming with compromised lungs, and the diagnosis is things like emphysema, asthma, tuberculosis. So you know you had COVID, watch me, super-proof, double-proof your immune system, especially your respiratory system, right? And we carry, of course, a number of things at Batson Associates for that. Then, of course, you have your normal immune builders in terms of building the immune system, zinc, D3, you know, which are that's one of the things that, you know, COVID actually exposed to a lot of persons, which I'm so glad. I mean, I taken D3 about 15 years now. Yeah, because that was basic. We had to learn that basic. Was the first semester in nutrition. That's one of the first things you learn. You understand the importance of vitamin D3 and how it actually deals with different aspects of metabolism and immunity in the body. Then we know about the liver and glutathione. Remember, your liver actually produces glutathione. Glutathione is your master antioxidant. We actually carry precursors to glutathione at Batson Associates. That's actually one of the products that is most recommended for cancer patients. Because you find with cancer, especially if you do chemotherapy and radiation, your glutathione levels are seriously reduced in the body. And as a result of that, your body is not able to heal itself after that type of trauma. Even for surgeries, when persons post-surgical, a lot of people do not know that there are post-surgical diets, which we do. Yeah, you can't go and do triple bypass and you go home normal, and eat what you want. No. There are specific post diets that actually help the body to heal faster and would actually speed up wound healing, speed up the body's ability to recover, speed up recovery of the central nervous system and the cardiovascular system and that type of thing. Okay.
All right. Before we continue, Doctor, go ahead and give the numbers one more time.
Yes, so those telephone numbers for the Shoguna's office, that number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. The Debe Shoguna's office, not Shoguna, St. James, is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. Excuse me, that telephone number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. 226-4553.
Right. So, my friends, the number for you to call here is 625-2759. Or 624-7729, 625-2759, or 624-7729. I'm taking your messages only at 333-9950, 333-9950 is where I am taking your messages via WhatsApp. We have a voice note on the line here. Let's see about that quickly.
Morning, Dominic. Morning, Dr. Batson.
She's not Dr. Batson.
Find out if stress has anything to do with Alzheimer's at an early age.
Okay, there was a part of the message, I didn't hear the last part. If stress can lead to Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's, yeah.
Of course, stress could lead to anything,
At
man.
an early age.
At an early, yes, definitely. One of the things I would tell you that I have seen, and even when the young lady called regarding her ankle, and she said she went to the doctor and the blood sugar was high, the possibility is that she must not, it doesn't necessarily mean that she was a diabetic, But whenever inflammation is high in the body, your vitals don't ever work correctly. Your blood pressure doesn't read properly, nor does your blood sugar. With heightened levels of inflammatory chemicals in the body. Because you have inflammatory chemicals like cytokines, prostaglandins, you could go and research it, and those things actually increase the likelihood of fatality in the body. Those chemicals' sole purpose is to kill you while you're asleep. So it means, and especially in pain, once you're in pain, the central nervous system with those pain receptors and how the body functions, your vitals wouldn't be regular. So if you have a damaged something or you're under a lot of stress, I know persons, women especially, to tell you how stress affects people, women, if a female is really stressed out, she would not get a menstrual cycle. It wouldn't come. Because stress, there's a stress hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is the major stress hormone in the body. And when cortisol levels are very high, it shows off every other system in the body, every other system. So stress, that is why when they tell you stress is a killer, it is not an exaggeration. And that's why I love Nerve Restore. Watch me, that product, It is amazing what that actually does for your mood and your stress levels, because it actually helps in terms of actually maintaining or leveling off those high levels of cortisol and actually assisting in the reduction of stress. Very important.
All right, so let's hit the board here quickly. Number one, morning, Dominic. Hello, Dr. Batson. I'm taking the Restore for 2 months now. I was able to regulate my sleep pattern and sleeping like a baby. Thank you. Good question. Now,
Very well,
can I take the Nerve Restore every other day?
Yes, you can. You most certainly can.
Okay. All right, so now that'll just be maintenance.
Yep.
Wonderful. Greetings, Dominic and Doctor. What is colloidal silver good for, and how do you use it, please?
Okay, so colloidal silver, nano silver. So the silver mineral formula, that's one of the products. That's actually the silver that we carry at Batson Associates. Anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral. Studies on silver that has been placed against over 700 different pathogens, including Ebola, SARS, HIV, and this is direct contact, immediate death of the pathogen. Silver is actually used in some hospitals internationally to actually sterilize surgical equipment and hospital equipment. It is also used if a female gives birth to a child and she has an STI, which is a sexually transmitted infection. So if she has gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, and those type of things. If that baby is not treated immediately as he comes out, or he or she comes out the womb, they are going to end up blind. They actually use silver to be actually dropped in the eye of the baby to actually kill the pathogen immediately. And this is Western medicine. Eh? This is not Ayurvedic or Chinese or naturopathic medicine. This is what is referred to as allopathic medicine. So the standardization is especially in Scandinavia. So if you look at Sweden, places like Switzerland, Sweden, that type of thing, whose medicine is like way advanced, most people in the world, Italy and that type of thing. You know, they have an open mind as regards, it's not necessarily integrated, although that's where the entire world is going now, because we realize, as I said before, you cannot go in a hardware and ask them for butter, cheese, and bread. The hardware doesn't sell that. So you have to understand when you're dealing with specific type diseases, there are specific type practitioners that you should, you know, visit. So,
Agreed.
Definitely.
Good morning, Dr. Batson and Dominic. Excellent program. Dr. Batson, I have read a lot about eating right for your blood type. What are your views on this?
Excellent question. Excellent question. I've read that book more than once. And I agree to some extent, but I disagree to some extent as well. I didn't like the aspect where they were touting a lot of meat for a specific blood type. I can't remember which one it was. So they was telling you that you could eat a lot of pork and a lot of beef. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So I found that was a bit, I wouldn't say controversial, but I found it was counterproductive. In the sense that, you know, we know excessive meats in any diet. That's like sugar. That's like telling somebody, hey, your blood type is A or AO or O, so you could eat plenty sugar. No, that can't happen. But I believe strongly that there are some serious truth to it, as opposed to, you know, what you can eat and what you cannot eat. The thing is, what a lot of persons have to understand too is, the human body is such an amazing thing. Eh? We have memory embedded in our cells from generations. Eh? People don't understand what cells carry, what tissue carry. So if you may have, it could have been, where you look at genetics in terms of lifestyle, like I was telling them in the lecture yesterday, if you look at people in blue zones, right? We established blue zones are where people live to be more than 100. A lot of centurions, that type of thing. We know Japan has one of the largest blue zones. There are people 105, 110, 100, whatever the case may be, right? When you look at the diet ethics, that diet and that entire ethnicity in that part of the world tend to eat a lot of marine phytoplankton. Now, based on biology, anatomy, and physiology, we know marine phytoplankton is one of the oldest forms of plant life, much older than land plants, right? And the reason, so the sea carries a wealth of nutrition, and you can't compete where marine phytoplankton is concerned. It is nutrient dense. So as a result of that being in the diet for a period of time, what they did is that they basically created almost super genes, because remember, there's a generational things, and the cells have memory. So as it relates to eating right for your blood type, a lot of times you find that it is because of those cells have memory, even though they were generations down, and the memory may have been associated with the type of foods eaten in the memory. Because you know, your body also carries emotional stress and emotional memory in your cells, right? When they talk about things like family curses and generational curse and all those type of things, those things have some truth to them, because even with a female, they have shown women, for example, during pregnancy, a woman, when she's pregnant, she has to be very careful to what she listens to. If it is a woman is pregnant, she always have an argument, she and her husband always quarreling. That child is going to be affected in a negative way. They have proven that. They have proven that. It's just like animals. When they're going to kill animals or slaughter them for meat, they show that what those animals actually do is that the brain chemistry, because they know what is going to happen to them, and it's like build up rage and anger and everything, and that actually goes through the entire blood vessels and is now in the meat, which we go and eat. So you eating a vexed cow, a upset, traumatized animal, or upset or traumatized chicken, and somebody might say, but what madness this man talking? But it's a fact, because emotion is transmitted in a face. So even though emotion is intangible to an extent, it is intangible because people could only know how you feel based on your actions or your behavior, which is why psychiatrists can read your mind. The only way psychiatrists are able to make a profile on you mentally to determine whether you're a narcissist, whatever your aspect of personality or issue is based on your behavior. Behavior is tangible. Emotion, a lot of times, is not, because nobody can read your mind, if you understand what I'm saying. So when you look at the way the universe operates and the way the body operates, as I tell persons, you have 5 systems or levels in the body. You have your spiritual body, which is the first body. Then you have your supramental body, which is your subconscious mind. Then you have your mental body, which is your conscious mind. Are you aware that if you could tap into your subconscious willingly, you'll be able to do some serious things. There are very few people in the world who could do that. And that comes with years of training and that type of thing. But a lot of times your subconscious mind, which is why if they're doing hypnosis on you, you're not hypnotized from your conscious mind. It's your subconscious that they interfere with. So those people are hypnosis is a hypnotherapist is a highly trained individual and highly skilled. It is known as neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro is brain, linguistic is language, and programming. It's not like somebody trying to program you, but the science is neuro-linguistic programming. So I'm saying all of that to say that you need to ensure that even from a energy aspect, that your health is important. And that's what I was talking about, the breathing and exercise and that type of thing. Get a good pair of shoes. I'm telling you, exercise significantly improves your body overall, your mental health, your psychological health, your emotional health. You are able to deal with stress better when you exercise. We know that, right? Exercise releases hormones or chemicals rather, known as endorphins, which are feel-good chemicals. They actually stimulate proper feel. And look at that. That's a physical situation giving you now an emotional or a psychological response of used with things like psoriasis. I mean, I don't have any skin problem. I use it. I find it's a good product. We have been using it for a while now, and help a lot of persons with things like your psoriasis, your eczema. It really helps with skin if you have problems. Sometimes some people, you might have something on your skin that's just not going. Silver with mineral formula, the soap, and you might be surprised the results that you get.
Okay, going back here, how would we use that particular product if we're dealing with the bacteria in the small intestines where the system is not absorbing foods and medication as it ought to?
That's a very good question. Excellent. In a situation like that, because you see, the thing is, one of the things I do, I deal a lot with autoimmune conditions of the intestines, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome. In fact, a close family member of mine, they had that. If I wasn't doing this, they wouldn't have been alive, right? And with that, what you're going to need, we have to do some aspect of proper assimilation and of the digestive system. So what I would recommend in a case like that, you're going to have to use, you can't use the regular water that you're using. You're going to have to change that water for a little while. So that's the alkagen water. And what we're going to do is that we're going to add something called digestive restore. So we're going to actually start to rebuild the intestinal flora, the microflora in the intestines. And once we start to do that now, so that's alkagen water, digestive restore, you're going to throw in advanced chlorophyll and your silver mineral formula. And watch me, in about a month time, once you follow proper instruction, you will get some amazing results. You're going to see some improvements. Inflammation in the intestines is a little tricky simply because you're looking at a broad surface area that you're dealing with. Remember, your intestines, your small and large intestines, it's 23 feet in length. That's a lot. You have your ascending, your transverse, your descending, and your sigmoid colon. That's wrapped up inside of there. So it means in order for us to get that microflora, get that bacteria correct and balanced, we need to do some work inside of there. And of course, the diet, of course, is fundamental. There are certain things that we're not going to starve you, but there are certain foods that you should reduce or eliminate altogether. And of course, with the consultation, we will guide you accordingly.
All right, how do we deal with, how does the office deal with cataracts, early stages? How are we dealing with this?
The thing is, cataract is mineral buildup on the lens of your eyes. There are certain type of situations that encourage cataracts. If you are diabetic, your likelihood of getting a cataract is significantly increased because of the situation with the compromised circulation. So as it relates to that eye optics formula, very good eye drop that we carry at Batson and Associates, helps a lot in that. That's our all natural eye drop. It doesn't, the ingredient profile is relatively simple compared to a lot of others, but it's organic, which is very important. So as a result of that, it actually helps to clean the lens of the eye and actually dissolve the cataract, because cataracts can dissolve. The problems with a lot of persons is that, and again, the persons who do not like to drink water, because you remember your eyes is a high percentage of water, and that the water actually keeps the eyes moist. People who end up with cataract are people who have very dry eyes. So because of that, it encourages, the eyes not being washed. So it's like your window. You're not cleaning your window. So if you don't clean a window for a year, what you will see? Nothing. You can't see through that window. So you can't see anything. Nothing is going to be seen there. So that is where those eye drops come in. And we do carry a few eye drops as regards depending on what the eye situation is. So you could always check us, get some information where that is concerned.
All right. Let's see. Next up on the board, good day, Dr. Batson. What is a healthy alternative to butter?
All right, here what? I'm going to talk about that next week. Because I'm thinking off the top of my head, and I don't want to just talk off of the top of my head. So I'm going to check. I haven't looked at that aspect in a while, so I don't know if there's anything new that they have. But I tell people, you could do without that money. But I'm going to do my due diligence and do some research, and I'll check you guys back.
All right.
So that's my homework for next week.
That's your homework for next week.
Yeah,
Where can you access the cold pressed coconut oil?
You're gonna have to do some searching where that's concerned. A lot of supermarkets carry it now. there's a particular one that we used to carry, but COVID sort of messed that up. I'm in the process of actually looking now. So I'm hoping God's willing by next year, I should solve that problem. But I'm a big advocate of that. Huge, 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 especially for your skin, especially for your hair. Right? I mean, it is amazing. It's amazing. There's no comparison. I mean, the politics where they demonized coconut oil some years ago, I don't even go and repeat that already. And then you hear some people saying, don't use that, it's not good. No. Hydrogenated oils are the problem. The thing is, people in the Caribbean use a lot of hydrogenated oils, i.e. vegetable oils, and those things are not good for you. Those are seriously linked to cardiovascular problems. That's why you think the leading cause of death in the world currently is cardiovascular disease. You think everybody had just as bad just so, and everybody was eating bad? No. It's those that are oils, those vegetable oils and those things. Those things not good. Remember, oils are denatured by heat. What does denatured mean? Denatured means that they change chemistry. Just like I gave you the example with the example as it relates to the sorry, just now. I'm multitasking. I look over, I glance over, and I see a question, and I just lost my train of thought. I'll get back just now. But that's something that you need to pay very close attention to. Oh yes, with the barbecue. So where I was talking about the barbecue, where I was saying grill is better. When you barbecue, you introduce hydrocarbons, so you change the chemistry. People don't understand food fundamentally is chemistry, you know. Yes. When you drink juice, chemistry. You drink a soft drink, chemistry. You eat a red mango, chemistry. And chemistry affects the body. Simple enough. And a lot of things that people consider to be non-damaging is very damaging. I mean, just look at the World Health Organization. Someone is asking me about insurance. Are we any closer? Listen to me. You'll have to understand that insurance thing bigger than Batson Associates and Dr.Batson. You know, they understand that yet? Yeah. I mean, we're in the process of doing some things, but again, it's laws and certain things that needs to be looked at. The Canadians have done a masterful job of sort of integrating their practice with that. So as well as the Scandinavians. Well, the Asians, China, Malaysia, Philippines, they were long time because they had a little kind of own way about themselves, which is why their health system is much different to the Western world. Hence the reason why the majority of the people, do not have the challenges that we have. But as I said, that is an ongoing process. And, as time goes by, the world is becoming more, recognizing certain things. We live in the information age, which is a very, very important thing that, they can't really close their eyes to a lot of things now. It is there, it is out. And once it's out of the box, they can't put it back. So let's see how it goes. What I would tell persons is that at the end of the day, insurance or no insurance, your health is your wealth. So, you need to take care of yourself, regardless of the situation.
All right, folks, we have 7 minutes again for the program today. I'm telling you now, we have 7 minutes. All right, so you can send your messages now, 333-9950, 333-9950. Give us a call at 625-2759 or 624-7729. You wanted to take that question that you saw on Facebook?
Yes, someone is asking me a question. Enlarged prostate, which is causing bladder infection with bacteria has not responded to medication well. They want to know if silver can help this person. I actually can, but they're going to have to, that person will have to get a consultation. Whether you call, let me do a consultation with them, and I will fix that problem. Because you see, the thing is, the silver will help, but you have to add other things there. It's going to help a lot, actually. But the thing is, when you have frequent bladder infections, most likely that person actually, they have enlarged prostate, but the prostate could be enlarged as a result of prostatitis. And prostatitis is infection on the prostate, which is not something you want to have. But it can be corrected. And then people who get regular bladder infections because of the swelling of the prostate, as I said, there's a whole large amount of inflammation in that area. So you need to pay very close attention. That person needs to get a little bit of castor oil, the black Jamaican castor oil, mix half with coconut oil, half with the castor oil, and do massages to the scrotum and inside the inner portion of your legs, close to your lymphatic system and that type of thing. What that will do, it will help with lymphatic cleansing and lymphatic drainage. Remember, your lymphatic system is a major aspect of your immune system, right? And then we're going to recommend some things internally. The diet is going to have to be looked at as well. That person is going to have to stop meat. They can use fish and some seafood if they indulge in shrimp and that type of thing. But the meat itself, especially red meat, out of the diet. No coffee either. Reduce the amount of sugar. Go more nutrient-dense food, so a little provision as opposed to rice. Use things like quinoa. God, when I tell you, I love quinoa. Every time I sit down and eat that, I was like, my God, why I didn't know about this like 50 years ago. I mean, I wasn't wrong 50 years ago, but yeah. I find the thing tastes so good. And the thing is, for muscle mass, it works so well. And it is keep your belly flat, people. Ladies, get some quinoa. And don't tell me anything about the taste. If you cannot cook quinoa for it to taste good, then you can't cook. You need to check yourself. Come for a lesson. I better give a cooking class. Yeah, all you need to do, easy, boil it. You cut up your seasoning and thing after your fresh seasoning, your little pimentos, a little sweet pepper. If you're so inclined, I use the red onions, a little bit of garlic, mince up fine. I even put raisins inside of that, honestly. Yeah, you show that you mix it. This is for the tickums in the house. You start eating this and you'll be less thick. You'll be a thick, not a thick arms. You'll start to lose. All right? Dominic, you are a bad influence on me. I need to request a new host.
Only because I have this message in front of me here. So, good morning, Dominic and Dr.Batson. I am not one of the thickums, but do you have any formulas for IBS?
Yes, we do. We have a lot of things. Watch me, we fixing IBS in our sleep. Irritable bowel syndrome, for those of you who are not aware. Irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, IBS. Listen to me, we have thing for that. Don't be suffering. Why always suffering with all this gas? And then next thing you go and do you do a colonoscopy and then they tell you, hey, you have colorectal cancer. Next thing is the doctor saying, we need to do a colon resection. So I don't want to end the program on a thing, but a colostomy bag is no fun, you know. You all know what a colostomy bag is? Okay. So when they remove your intestines, you're going to have a little bag that you're going to have to walk around with that is actually going to hold your, when you defecate, stuff. So I mean, that's not a purse. You're not carrying around money. That's not a briefcase. You're not carrying around paper. Why would you want to be carrying around waste? Now, I mean, if you, God forbid, in a situation, again, an accident or something like that, but prevention is better than cure. So with that being said, let me give you the telephone numbers. Those telephone numbers and locations, keep in mind our pensioner special. Shoguna's office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Dede, corner Ramsamon Street and the SSA Main Road in Dede. It's 223-7515. That's 223-7515. You could call, get information on your nerve restore, your silver with mineral formula, chlorophyll, inflammation formula, your, we have thing, optimizer, if you know your memory, giving you some problems, your eyes, optimizer is a wonderful product. We actually have now a high antioxidant product, which actually has a lot of bilberry in it. If you know about bilberry is anti-cancer, it's great for your eyes, blood sugar levels, that type of thing. So you can check that out as well. The St. James number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113, and that office is located at the Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. And Tobago, of course, the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. I don't want to say too much soon, but we have a nice surprise for Tobago coming. That number is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. And let me say something quickly. Again, proper thing. Interesting product. All I have to say, better sleep, better erection, or I should say better erection first. Better erection, better sleep, better blood sugar levels, improved detox, nice gastrointestinal function. So look out for that. We have something coming that's going to do some good work. So with that being said, Dominic says, always a pleasure to be in your company. Let me say, these listeners of Sky 99.5, thank you so very much for having me in your company this morning. To those of you who would have learned something, I'm grateful and ever thankful. For those of you who, must see, but all I have on the radio, so God bless you. Love you all still. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless you guys. Remember, have some salad today with a macaroni pie. And till next week, please God. Let me say quickly to my social media, they asked a set of questions here, which I was not able to answer all. I am not going to be able to give you all a live tonight, but you all will get one in the week. So when I strategize with the great Mr. Shakil here, we're going to decide how we do that.
Yes. The great. That's right. Great as a Shakil.
Yes. And for those of individual, for our clients, as regards to our East Indian community, let me say, of course, Happy Diwali to you. Those of you, your holiday tomorrow, don't do too much. Don't do too much. Take a little rest. And again, God bless. And you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Dominic, sir, take care.
Yes, sir. Take it easy. Now, my friends, I do apologize. I see messages coming in. But to be foretold is to be forewarned, and I did do just that. All right. So this was the program Overcoming Health Issues Naturally with Dr. Batson of Batson and Associates. You can join us every Sunday morning right here on Sky 99.5 FM, just after 9 p.m. to just around this hour here. All right. We do thank you so very much for your calls, your questions. I see the call line is going off right now. Again, catch us on the early side next week, God's willing. All right. So till the appointed time, my friends, we do bless you. Dr. Batson, I do hope that you enjoy your week. Stay busy, my friend.
Always.
Not too busy, of course.
Not too busy.
All the rest to the rest of the team. Blessings to you guys. Until the next one. This was Overcoming Health Issues Naturally.
Yes, social media. So all the lovely lady, there's a lady there, she said, Dr. Batson, answer my question. I'm going to find your question, my darling, and I am going to answer it. Shaki, see if you can find that question before I go. She was not so happy.
I don't know which we are.
You don't know which we are. Okay, no problem. But what we're gonna do, next program we're doing would be.
What I could do is I can put all the last 4 questions for you, if that will be okay with you.
Well, yeah, go ahead. You could do that.
So the first question I got on the screen, so we can answer, will be this lady here. Doctor, do you have? Yeah.
Okay, so Miss Jacqueline A. Noble, doctor, you are the honest best with anxiety and depression for more than 20 years. Very, very bad. October 10th, I start taking the Nervistol. I have a patch of hair I lost the same time. Now my hair is growing back. My shaking and nervousness improving. I am so pleased. We'll keep all posted. Oh my God. Whoa. See, look, it's a good thing to do that. Okay, Miss Noel, watch me. I'm glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. Don't worry. And you only have better to get. Okay.
Let's do it, right?
Yeah. No problem. You take your time. We're working. Mr. Malcolm Mattison, enlarged prostate, which is causing, right, this I answered. So I was saying that is the silver mineral formula, inflammation formula, the alkagen water, santulan, prostate tea.
I find the lady.
Yeah, you found that question?
Well, I found her name, so
okay.
Now I can find the question. Let's have a scroll. I have 100 something questions. Oh, right. Her question over here. Said good morning. On the screen. Yeah.
Good morning, Doc. Are you any closer now to? Oh, right. That's the question. Yeah. Well, that's why I touched on that question. As I said, that's Miss Allison Tyson. Yeah, we working on it. We working on it. I mean, it's not the integrated aspect of our practice where when we're going to start things like if we start doing blood tests and those things that fall under Western medicine will obviously be recognized. But as regards to the others, you know, it's a process, it's a working process, and God's willing, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. All right, Ms. Josie Smith said, Dr. Batson, please let me know what is the consultant fee or in pounds. I was given it in, most likely it was in USD. If you don't want to give it, can you send it on WhatsApp? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, Ms. Smith, I'll let my office know, and I'll send it for you on WhatsApp. Okay? Thanks so very much.
Let's take in one more question, right?
Yes, sir. What is good for a swollen ankle? Miss Annie Love. Good morning, Miss Love. Swollen ankle. That is normally a sign of poor circulation or some sort of sprain or damage to the muscular skeletal system. So what I would suggest you do first is, have you done any x-ray? Have you done any sort of CT scan or anything like that? If you're getting pain, or if you're not, okay, so if you're getting a lot of pain, then you should do that. If you're not getting pain and you're just getting intermittent swelling, I believe that is some aspect of poor circulation. And as a result of that, we can make some recommendations where that is concerned. Okay, like the circulation tea, the inflammation formula, silver with mineral formula, that kind of thing. But of course, give us a call. Those of you, you know, who have issues, there are some things you want to find out. We can you could give us a call, sorry. Our Shogunas office is 222-8261. Let me just answer a question quickly here. Doubles with slight pepper. Name boy. Oh, well, yeah. What causes lumps in one's breast? A number of things. Sometimes dehydration. Some women are hormonal imbalance issues. Could also be problems with the gums. That could also be a situation where that is concerned. But that's a problem that we could fix, because most of the time is what is known as fibristic breast, which is as a result of poor circulation in the breast themselves, or blockage in a mammary gland or something like that. Okay? So with that being said, guys, as we always say at Batson & Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Okay, those telephone numbers again for the Shogunas office, 222-8261. That's first floor Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. Keep in mind we have road delivery as well as our pensioner special. So that pensioner special, take advantage of it. And as we always say, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless. I had to say that twice. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care. Be safe.